Hey everybody, this is Jonathan,
And I'm Brian.
and this is a San Juan branch line commentary. We're having a little bit of production delays, but we do intend to get some new episodes out this year and next. But in the meantime, we're gonna do some reflecting and go back to look at some of the episodes that we particularly enjoyed, both the newer ones and eventually the older ones. So, Brian, if there's anything you want to add, we can just get to the episode, the fan favorite Halloween episode.
Oh, yeah, that was probably one that got us onto the algorithm, I guess. So, let's see exactly how we got there.
Yep, bringing back this channel from the dead, how appropriate. And now you know why the reporting remarks are SJBL.
Mm-hmm.
It just became kind of funny looking at it again.
Oh,
So,
sure.
Brian, first thing to ask, what route is this?
This particular segment is what's known on the download station as Liverpool 2002. The era of Ultimate Trains collection is basically supposed to be like an interpretation of the Rocky Mountains. So we like to think of this as like the San Juan branch line on the eastern side of the Continental Divide, and there are other bits and pieces. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Alright, this is the only time you will ever see us put a date in the episode. Not because we have any issue against it, but we don't want to accidentally write ourselves into a corner. So we did that intentionally with this one because we knew it was going to take place way in the past, like before anything from the original episodes would have even happened.
That happens way too much.
So whatever works out, but we'll figure it out. So our voice actors here are, of course, Luke Iverson as Gerald, aka JYJG, and Ron the Cyborg, Aaron Latson as Cameron. And you may have noticed we intentionally kind of made them sort of anachronistic together. Gerald's an F unit, 20 years older than Cameron, who would have been brand new at the time this would have taken place.
Let me go ahead and separate the fact from legend.
So, yeah. Hey, Brian, what made you pick the GP30?
It basically came down to a choice between this and the Chinese red GP9 jointed rail, and I think what solidified our choice was that we needed something that was newer and, but for all intents and purposes, more energetic and more upbeat and gung-ho.
Right, Chinese red, that works.
Yeah.
I'm going to point out, for the record, I didn't even realize at the time that New York Central engine existed.
If you look around the internet, you'll find some other 080s and 2882s that were tried out by the Central, but mostly relegated to freight yards. I think particularly around Selkirk, which is near Albany.
Say a month into its tenure, it basically learned self-control.
Yes, I am aware this 080 is N&W model, but we just wanted something that fit, and somewhat intentionally we picked the oldest and probably crappiest model we could think of. And this comes from a very old site called Train Lover, or Trains Lover. But yeah, we just kind of thought it'd be funny to pick something that out of date. So, something that gets brought up. Yeah, is Gerald telling the truth here? He could be. We're not quite sure. It's, oh yeah, spoiler alert, in case you haven't seen the episode. We're not quite sure what Cameron's trying to say. We feel like he's trying to cover his own ass, or whatever. But a question here is why? And this, incidentally, this is why we made this episode intentionally not have any San Juan characters. It's definitely in that same vein as the Twilight Zone, so that way you don't have to worry about continuity between stories. In fact, the irony is that this was originally based a little more on the Treehouse of Horror Simpsons episodes. In fact, the original idea was we'd have done 3 small stories, and released them throughout October.
Every time.
But as it went on, essentially, I realized that, well, I've got 2 stories that are somewhat developed, and 1 story that it has no development whatsoever.
But the legend was born.
So instead, I thought, hey, maybe just put the 2 concepts together. 1, the obviously fake story, and 2, the, oh wait, it was actually real story.
No, of course it isn't. It's all made up. The 080 got loose because some teenager.
Yep,
released
we
the
really
race.
lucked
It
out
got
with
as
these
far as the bottom of
performances.
Clayton's Hill before gravity stopped it. I had to bring it back to the deadline.
Yeah, especially like the sort of camera angles I went with.
Yep, that worked out.
Yeah, and not to mention the route building skills.
Like I said,
Yep.
it's all
Let's
meant
see.
for
Oh yeah, looking through our questions here. Is this about Duncan Gets Spooked? I'm just going to point out I did not remember that episode. In fact, I'll admit I still don't remember it. I kind of chalk it up to there's so many Thomas episodes that, yeah, it's inevitable.
Pretty much.
In fact, I think that was kind of our joke for a while, is that we were going to take the bad episodes of T and Def and start remaking them, but with an actual plot.
Nothing to worry about.
Because that idea is not going to backfire somehow. I'm going to point out, you can see the tank engine between those 2 trees there, but even me knowing this, I have trouble remembering that. So, subtlety?
Just my eyes playing tricks on me.
More like something we should have improved on if we were gonna make it that obvious.
Creepy noises too when
You just add a headlight flash real quick.
I hear the noises.
Oh sure.
It does sound
Yep.
like a whistle, and
So this was kind of fun recording, because obviously Luke and Aaron as our mains, and then me, Brian, and some friends doing the conductor, engineer, and random voices.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, a compressor on the ground. That's certainly scary. I mean, what were we gonna do? Make it leak blood?
maintenance.
Oh, and they expect.
If only map painting skills had progressed that far.
Well, it would have had to ooze, then it would have been creepy.
This is looking like
Or at
either a
least
lazy
disgusting.
or a crazy coincidence.
This isn't.
Yeah, we're always trying to use the Occam's razor thing, the whole, it's gotta be something more simple. It was actually kind of fun, though, to mess with the brightness settings in the game. You can mess with the gamma, I think it is,
Yeah,
and
sort
just
of.
make it as bright or dark, or a certain color you want. This, incidentally, was the inspiration for that Sunset episode. Make everything look all orange. So here, we just made everything look all black, with the intention of, hey, right, make it look creepy and night. Of course, you know, no offense to you, Brian, but it had me realize, right, this is why horror films are shot at night, but why they're not shot in the dark.
Right.
Because after a while, it's like, yeah, I'm having trouble telling what I'm seeing. You know, live and learn.
Oh
Gee,
yeah.
what could that
We'll
possibly
do better
be?
next time.
In fact, this is why I noticed until recently all the episodes took place in bright night, or bright day, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Yes, our only character, OG character appearing, Trainmaster.
I'm Cameron.
And yep, we had to explain why Trainmaster's not going to remember. He doesn't remember anything,
So what are you saying we do?
or anything that's not important to his line.
You can pick up our outgoing loads tomorrow.
All right.
Oh god, that voice.
No regrets, right?
I mean, it's... well, now it's it's essentially a Grunkle-Stan impression. But, oh boy.
That wasn't me.
Well, that was weird.
So this is the one idea that I knew trains can do differently compared to people. It's run backwards. Like, obviously you can run anything backwards, but trains are the only thing that you can really do that long distance with.
Right.
And it's pretty simple. They don't have to steer or turn.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought, hey, that could add some uncertainty when you can't see what's coming ahead.
Kind of busy looking ahead.
It kind of occurs to me now in hindsight, it's like the engines are trying to warn him, like, get out, or get out while you still can. But it's like, so what's he supposed to do? Just turn around?
Why did you do it?
Do What?
At times, I still wish we had kind of done the 7 days or I see dead people line.
Don't stop. That wasn't Cameron.
A
so
bit
who
anachronistic,
was it?
whatever. They're talking trains.
That can't.
I'm proud of that.
Train master trying to tell us something.
No.
Uh-huh.
No, not now.
Probably an electrical issue.
No, it has to be something else. Try the rear head.
Yeah, the light going out, that was the other big moment. What it's like when you're in the middle of nowhere with no viewability whatsoever.
Really think
Oh yeah, trying to fix it's also pretty effective.
Sure ain't a loose bolt. This should do it.
Yep, in your face. It was right there the whole time.
Okay, so it's just a ghost. Realize that it can't hurt us. It's just a tank engine.
God, it kind of amuses me though, like all these stock music sounds. It's like horror themes are so normal that
It's like the force of
now it's
15
easy
engines.
to imitate.
15 engines?
Ah yes, the force of 15
I
engines.
was wrong. It is real.
And just like that, filming got so much easier.
Guys? Oh, great. And he's still on the dead man's pedal.
Now something we've... Oh yeah. I only have to focus on one. Now I kind of admit we kind of should have made it clear what's going on. Ninja without drivers. Was that your idea or the game's glitch?
That was sort of a game glitch. That's how the engine was downloaded, and I just sort of went with it.
Okay. Hey, you work with what you have.
Yeah, and in this case it worked to its advantage.
They're everywhere. This is ridiculous.
So, right.
There has to be
Yeah, so in
something.
my mind, the ghost engine, tank engine,
What's that?
is up in the mountain at the pass. He just stays there. But every October, not Halloween, but October, he hangs around and waits for a hapless engine to make part of his collection. Now what he does, it's... Even Brian and I are a little indecisive. Maybe it's a servant, maybe it's a victim, maybe it's a trophy. But either way, this engine collects what he can.
So yeah, this was pretty straightforward.
But we also kind of admit, like, what are the engines intimidated by? And here, the concept we should have made clear was the self-control. It's something that we've kind of gone back and forth on, like, how are these engines controlling themselves? Because you see that so often in other shows.
Right.
So instead, here we thought there's got to be a way it's possible, but not full-on sustainable.
Ignore the floating axe.
So long to Cameron. We actually kind of enjoyed him. I mean, why else do you think we brought him back?
Yeah, kind of had to. I mean, he still exists in revenue service today.
He was always
Yeah,
such a nice
I just
guy.
love this concept, a train having to give a testimony.
Oh yeah, that was fun to stage.
Your engine
Yep.
flies off the rails, and we find the crew injured, but alive right here.
That in
As we pointed out in pretty much every horror story, nobody cares what happens as long as it's not happening to a person.
He's probably a lost cause now.
Pretty much.
Probably buried under all the mud. Don't worry. For now, we'll get you to the hospital.
And that's why nobody's searching for all these strange disappearances. There's the other... That Jeep, I think, may have been our second choice to use if we hadn't found the GP30.
Oh yeah.
So this is the main reason why we made this an anthology sort of thing. Why we didn't just use San Juan characters. Because one of them would have wound up dead, and the other would have turned out to have been a two-faced liar. So there could be some nuance to that, but we decided, no, we're not going to deal with that baggage. Let's just pick two other characters and have some fun with this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, besides, if it was an engine like Annie or Nathan, like, you know that they would have been fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, nothing bad ever happens to those guys, right?
Knock on wood.
Yep, this is always kind of fun, too.
Whether or not we're gonna cover those guys, that's still up in the air.
I kind of wanted the idea that they would disappear, like when we zoomed back on the ghost. But whatever.
Yeah, if I had known when I was shooting this. Probably could have worked out something, but that was a little bit complicated for me.
Yeah, worked fine as it was.
Yeah, could always try it again.
So the other question people seem to have, are we going to do a follow-up? I will say, we are going to... Originally, this was really meant to be just a standalone, one piece of its own kind of weird world. But honestly, as I've gone back, I feel there's a way we could bring it. We could toy with some of the concepts again. So let me just say this. There's not going to be a direct sequel, but we are going to bring back some of the characters and concepts. This is a fun song choice.
Thank you.
So, in the end, I will admit that, yeah, it definitely shows that we were still kind of getting back into things. There's a couple things that don't make me cringe, but definitely I kind of shake my head at now in hindsight. But, you know, it's like you can't make progress without spotting some flaws. And in the end, well, I accept most of them. Yeah, but accept that, you know, it still turned out all right. No, we're not going to remake this one, though. Brian, how about you?
As it stands on its own, this is, I mean, it's not terrible by my own creation standards, but it is definitely one to kind of look back on and just see how far we've come. So, as far as sentimental value, it's pretty good, but as far as looking back on how far we've progressed since then, I think it's come along all right.
Yeah. All right, we would put this. We would send the link to this to friends, but we wouldn't put this on a resume. I think that's what we might say.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, yeah, I think the next episode, though, we professionally like to have listed.
Uh-huh.
Ahem.
Yeah, I know.
But we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah,
all right.
all in due time.
This was fun to do, though. We're definitely going to do some more of these. The next one's going to be the Christmas episode, but after that, comment to tell us which one we should do next. Otherwise, this is Jonathan.
And I'm Brian.
Of San Juan Branch Line. And thanks for watching. We're going to get some real episodes and seeing trains out again, but for now, we hope you've enjoyed. Take care.
Yep, you too. See you around.